So Guido Pella and Jannik Sinner, they're facing off in the first round of the Madrid Open. Now, Pella is a capable clay court player, but he hasn't been in great form this year. He's not played a whole lot either. But even in the first round of the Sardinia Open, his first clay court tournament, he lost to Gerasimov. He only won 4 games, so he's not really in great form. And in Monte Carlo, she also lost in the first round of Monte Carlo. So he's not really in great form right now. He was on a 4-match losing streak when he came, but last week things kind of turned around for him as he was able to win a first match, although it was via retirement. But then he lost to Millman after retiring. So another thing that's going to be on the plate is health concerns. We're going to see, is he healthy to compete in this match? Because Sinner will not do as well if he's not healthy. Now Sinner has had a great year this year. He made the final of the first event of the tune-up events for the Australian Open, and he actually won that, so he won a title. He made the Miami final, the Miami Masters 1000 final as well. So he's in really good form so far, and when he's in good form, he's always a tough opponent to beat. So we're gonna see if he can produce a good level of tennis here, because he also reached the semis of Barcelona as well on the clay court. So there's some good results that he's had this year. Now Sinner and Pella, they've never met, so they have 0-0 head-to-head. So my prediction here, I think that Sinner wins this one in straight sets. I think that Pella, because he's not fully fit yet, and because health concerns are still looming, because he retired last week, I think it's going to be a Sinner win because he's in good form now and he's playing well. So I'm going to pick Sinner to win this one in straight sets.
So Hubert Hurkacz and John Millman, they're facing off in the first round of the Madrid Open. Now Hurkacz has had a bunch of good results this year. He reached his career high ranking when he won the Miami Open. So he became the first Polish player to win that tournament, which was an impressive feat for someone like him. And he defeated lots of good players. He defeated Raonic, he defeated Shapovalov, he defeated Tsitsipas, and he defeated Rublev and Sinner. So he defeated 5 seeds onto winning it, and they're all good players, all good upcoming youngsters, a lot of them. So there's some good wins for Hurkacz there. But the only clay court match was played in Monte Carlo, and he lost to Evans in straight sets. So right now, I want to say I don't know much about his clay court abilities. I think that he has played on clay in the past, but I think he definitely prefers hard court. So we're going to see whether he can transfer his good form from Miami to the clay. Will we see the Miami self, or will we see a different version who maybe is not as good as his Miami self? We have to wait and see. And okay, yeah. So Millman has actually, this year he actually was not in good form. He was on a 5-match losing streak at a point, but it's interesting because clay isn't really his best surface, but interestingly, that actually has kind of provided him kind of like with a fresh start. The clay has actually helped him gain like a fresh start, gain a little bit of a fresh start, considering that he's not so good on clay. It's actually really helped him gain like a fresh start and actually rack up some wins, because he has won every clay court match he's played this season. So interestingly, while it's not his best surface, it actually has kind of provided him with a head start maybe into getting back some form back. So Hubert Hurkacz and John Millman, I believe they've met once, but they've actually met way more than once. But they've met once officially. Yeah, I know that. I know that they've met one time officially, and Millman won that one. in straight sets, 6-4, 7-5, 6-3. That was when they played in the Australian Open in 2020. But they also have met in challenger events, and in Japan in 2018, Millman won that one in 3 sets, and in 2017, Millman won that one in 2 sets. So it'll be interesting to see what can happen here, because Hurkacz has never beaten Millman at all in their meetings. So I know most people will probably pick Hurkacz to win, but I'm going to go for an interesting man. I'm going to pick Millman to win this one in 3 sets. And I'm saying this because I think that he's impressed me so far, especially on the clay, considering that it's not his best surface. And another thing is that Hurkacz isn't as good on the clay as he is on the hard courts or grass. And Millman also has the head-to-head advantage. So I think that Millman will use the head-to-head advantage as a bit of a confidence booster, and as a result, he'll be able to get the win. So I'm going to pick Millman to win this one in a 3-set match.
So Basilashvili and Paire, they're facing off in the first round of the Madrid Open. Now Basilashvili, this year he's had a good year, because last year he was accused for assaulting, I think, his ex-girlfriend or something, so his year wasn't so good. Those assault allegations he had, it hampered his play, and he was not playing as well. Last year he went on a long losing streak. He wasn't able to win any matches in a long time, so it really did affect his playing. But now it's looking like he's having a better year. In Antalya, he made the quarterfinals this year, and he also won a title in Doha. He beat Bautista again and Federer along the way, so those were good wins. And he recently won a title in the Bavarian International. He won a title in Munich. He beat Struff in the final. He didn't drop a set throughout the week, so that was a good performances from him. Now his opponent Paire is not in great form right now. He's been accused of tanking a lot of matches, and he's lost a lot of matches. He's the only match that he's won like this year was in Cordoba, and he won it against Jerry in straight there, but he lost to Correa in the next round. He hasn't been playing really well this year. It looks like maybe he's not happy because there are no fans in the stadium, so he's a little bit upset. So we'll see if maybe he can turn it around here, but he'll have to be. It's going to be tough against a good opponent that is playing now. Now, Basilashvili and Paire, they've met 4 times, and actually, Paire leads the head-to-head 3-1. But the last meeting, Basilashvili won that, but all their other meetings, Paire won it. But a lot of them have been very tight, so we're going to keep an eye on see who will win. So right now, my pick here, I know that most people will be picking Basilashvili, but I think Paire can get this one, because I think that he can. I think that he's playing. I know that he's not playing so well, but I think he can win this because he has the head-to-head advantage, and Basilashvili may be tired as well. And a lot of times, Basilashvili tends to be a little erratic. He's a little up and down. So I think Paire can win this in 3 sets. I just have a sneaking suspicion that Paire can sneak through. So Paire in 3 is my pick.
So Heber and Davidovich Fokina, they're facing off in the first round of Madrid. Now Heber has had some good results this year, most notably in Marseille. He reached the final of the tournament. He lost to Medvedev, but he took a set off him, which was a great match for him. He also was able to have a couple of good wins in some other tournaments. He did well in Miami. He won 1 match in Acapulco. He's more of a doubles player, this guy, but he also plays singles as well, and he's also good. He also has a good game because of that. So we're going to see what he can do in Madrid here against Davidovich Fokina, because Davidovich Fokina has done really well this week too. Now Fokina, he has had a string of good wins also. In Monte Carlo, he reached the quarterfinals, which was a good run for him. in the Estoril Open, he also reached the semis when he lost to Ramos Vinolas. So this guy has done. Fokina has done really well on the clay course this year. He's been really good on clay, and clay is really his best surface because his game, I would say, is better on the clay course. So we're going to see whether he can do well here currently. So they've never met, the two of them, so it's a 0-0 head-to-head. So my prediction here, I think that's going to be a Fokina victory. I think it's going to be 3 sets because Heber is a tricky player to face, especially on this surface. He's really tricky to face. But I think that Fokina is going to get the win because I think he's the better clay quarter, and I think that his game is more equipped to the clay. So I'm going to pick Fokina to win this in 3 sets because Heber has a tricky game, and his game is a little bit unorthodox, but Fokina should do it in the end. Fokina in 3 sets.